Hello, leader. Ever feel like your workspace is actually working against you? From distractions to disorganization, it's easy to let your office zap your energy instead of fuel it. But what if your office was designed to support your flow, reflect your personality, and send the message, "This is a space for impact"? Today, I'm walking you through what makes my office work for me and how a few simple shifts could transform yours too. Welcome to the Stacking Your Team podcast, smart leadership for women who mean business. I'm Shelli Warren, your team and leadership coach, and your no-fluff guide to building a powerhouse team that actually gets the job done without you holding their hand every 5 minutes. You're not just a business owner, you're the leader now, and I'll help you step up, lead smart, and stop micromanaging. Stick with me and you'll learn how to hire, fire, and inspire a team you lead with confidence and finally get your night and weekends back. And here's the hard truth. The team that got you here may not be the team that gets you there. So let's trade burnout for bold leadership and stack your team. I have an office downtown on my main street that's perfect for me, especially after trying hard twice to work from home. I've also tried hard twice to share an office with my brother. And I've been in this space now for 5 years, and well, it just works for me. I've expanded it, I've gotten even more comfortable with it, and I've leaned all the way into being who I am. I know who I am. I am that kind of person who gets up, gets ready, and goes to work. That's me. I spend a lot of time here in my office, and you likely do too. But are you happy being there, or are you telling yourself it's temporary? Or I'll make it work for me just now. Or I'll make it work better for me one day. One day has arrived. Whether you're working from home, a shared studio, or a beautiful office suite downtown, the way your space feels and functions matters. Today's episode isn't just about cute decor. It's about leadership, boundaries, energy, and how your space silently supports your success. Let's take a tour. This episode is powered by the Leadership Lab, my high-touch small group coaching program for women who own an established business with a team of 5 or more and who want to get out of the day-to-day operations so they can focus more on business development. So if you own a firm, agency, studio, clinic, spa, shop, private practice, academy, or collective, either brick and mortar or an online service-based business, you're invited to seriously consider joining the Leadership Lab. Every member owns an established business, and if you're wondering, this is not a course. It's time to get out of the daily operations, breathe deeper, and build a team you trust and who are capable of delivering what your clients expect. If you follow me online, you already know my office space. It's part of who I am and my brand. Most of my photos and videos are shot and filmed in my office or just outside my office on the main street or a nearby street. When people come to my office, they always say, "Oh, this really is your office." Yes, it's not super fancy, but it definitely works for me. And here's why. I've got a few things here that go beyond the mini fridge, the tea kettle, or the blender. And how I have my office set up is very different from my home. Here, I've got that vibe that fuels my work. After decades working in a manufacturing site with big capital budgets for office design and equipment, I've learned that office energy matters for focus, creativity, and client perception. And you can bet I am still a geek for office design. My Instagram and LinkedIn is full of my favorite designers who specialize in workspace design, workplace furniture, and lighting. I just love it. For real. One time, my brother was doing a speaking event in Ottawa for a client who happened to own an office furniture company, and you can bet I tagged along. He spoke to the audience in their showroom, and I was in heaven. I loved seeing the pieces up close, tried everything out, and enjoyed looking at the fabric and the finishing choices. That was such a fun afternoon. And by the way, my brother did great at his speaking event. You know, some of my clients have the dreamiest workplaces. You've got to check out a few of them. Jenny Egger of JED Designs, who, by the way, did an episode here on Stacking Your Team all about how workspace design can attract top talent. She bought a home and turned it into a multi-level powerhouse of creativity that her team, her delivery guys, and the camera loves. Rose Zeffirino of Zdomus Designs, who was just featured here on the podcast a few weeks ago. She has expanded her design studio into a 5,000 square foot space for her team and her visiting clients. She also has a really nice working from home office space too. Vita Vygovska of Vitalia Inc., a client who shared with us here on the podcast too. Her workroom, client meeting space, and event hosting space at her window treatment design firm is simply gorgeous. So yes, these ladies are all designers, so I put their Instagram links in the show notes. But many of you have fabulous workspaces too, and you're not a designer. If you have a private practice, I want to invite you to visit a former client of mine, Janelle Anamelchi, who owns My Children's Choice Dental Practice in DC. Oh my goodness, her dental practices are so incredible. Talk about designing a workspace that is 100% on brand. She knows how to make going to the dentist fun for kids. And one of my new members of the Leadership Lab has a she shed. Yes, exactly. And it's so awesome for her to step out into when she's doing work from home days. Honestly, get some inspiration from these workspaces and let me know some of your favorites too. So here's a list of my essentials for my office. You might have a few of these too. Now, I have 2 offices in the same space. One that I work from and host clients, and one that is solely used to record podcast episodes. Let's start with the office I work out of each day. I have 2 desks in this space, one that I work from and one that I attend group calls from. It's also where my social media manager or my in-person coaching clients sit when they join me for a session. My work desk is also where I join my Monday morning team call with the Stacking Your Team team. It's also where I host one-to-one calls for either my Leadership Lab clients or my regular one-to-one clients. It has a different background. You may have seen it in photos. It's full of cards that were sent to me, and it continues to grow. I'm such a fan of snail mail. The other essential is fresh flowers and real plants, nature's reset button for mood and air quality. And I love looking at them. And although I love plants and will spend a significant amount of money on them, if one dies, I just replace it. My goal is to have weekly flower arrangement delivered to my office. Oh my gosh. But in the meantime, I take a little walk to the nearby market or the shops that carry boutiques and choose one every week. The next essential is cushions and decor that I rotate monthly. Now, yes, that probably sounds excessive, but I like to switch out one area of my office every month because it's the background for my virtual calls, and I want to keep it interesting for my clients. I've got a collection of pieces that I repurpose, especially the season decor, but I'm always adding to it too. The cushions also have a dual purpose. They help to add a sound barrier along one wall in my podcast room, but more on that later. Next, I have a desk tray for my essentials. Now, this is a nod to comfort and confidence. So think lip gloss, hydration spray, hair clips, glasses, water bottle, etc. I actually have 2 trays, one on each side of my working desk. I like to have things in reach, but I also don't like a lot of clutter. Next up, here are the tools that support my flow. A whiteboard. Now, mine is rolling, and it's likely the favorite thing that Ellie loves about coming to my office. I think she thinks it's hers. But it's where I like to map out strategy for the business, or I often use it for my in-person client sessions. I also have some wall-mounted, smaller whiteboards that I use to list client enrollment and priorities. You see, I'm a visual person, but my writing is deplorable. So sometimes I have to take time to rewrite those lists and priorities. And of course, I love checking things off the lists. You know, back in my corporate career, I always had a large whiteboard beside my desk, and we often hired signage companies to come in and customize our boards. Team room whiteboards can be customized to create a true visual dashboard, and I'm such a fan of that. Some of my in-person clients have adopted this style of planning and communication, and they'll never go back to sticky notes and journals. Next up, I have clocks. 3. I have 3 clocks in my working office alone. One is a timer that I use to nudge me to finish tasks that I've been procrastinating on. The other 2 are strategically positioned to keep me and my in-person clients on track with our session times. Next up, I have signs. One that says recording in progress, and the other one says I'm with a client. My space is in an office building that has pods, so it's important to inform everyone from the delivery person to the people in the next office to visitors who are lost and are wandering around to pay attention to my boundaries. These signs that I purchased on Amazon do the trick. They stand up, and you can pop whatever message you want simply by printing out a sheet of paper and sliding it into the frame. Super simple, but powerful. Another idea that might fit better for you in your workspace is a sliding sign frame that's mounted on your office door that can show if you're in or out with a client or a do not disturb prompt. Next up, I have a snack cabinet. Because brain food matters, and let's be honest, meetings can run long. Now, this might be Ellie's second favorite thing about coming to my office every week. It acts as both the snack cabinet and the place to hold whatever I need for shipping gifts to my clients. I also have a Bose speaker. It's my secret to setting productive and calming tone in my workspace atmosphere instantly. I like how easy it is to switch up the Spotify playlist, and I can also have a great sound when I'm watching YouTube during my lunch breaks. Lastly, here are some layout suggestions that work for me, and they might help you too. I now have a podcast recording room. Yay! Literally, for 4 years, I record the podcast in my working office, bundled in the corner with pillows and blankets surrounding me, and hunched over my microphone. I used to have to reconfigure the room to make this happen. What a pain. It was also embarrassing to bring a client on as a guest and see this ridiculous setup. So during COVID, I noticed that the person in the office next to me never came in. Now, he was from out of town anyways, so I inquired about taking over that space. The landlord agreed, and we agreed on a price, and then they hired a contractor to come in and knock the wall out. What a difference. This is now where my second desk is and where I record all my virtual calls. Then I decided it was time to have a dedicated podcast recording space, and I jumped on the chance for another space that's literally steps outside my office in the same pod, after the building manager decided she was going to work remotely forever. After negotiating on a price and decor, I was set. The landlord decided to revamp the whole pod at this time with new flooring while he was at it. I especially love not having to reconfigure my space to record a podcast episode. Instead, I just walk in and start recording. I purchased a hydraulic desk for this space, and I bought soundproofing panels for the walls, as there is another person on the other side. I also give her lots of notice of when I'm going to record, so she can pop on her headphones if she wants to. The next layout suggestion, if you can make it happen, is I have windows with views of the street and the St. Lawrence River. Light, life, and a subtle reminder that I'm part of something bigger. Now, I'm a proud Canadian who lives in a small city, less than 25,000 people to be exact, with 2 international bridges and a 20-minute drive to the U.S. You can see New York State from my windows in my office. It's directly across from the river, and many people have dual citizenship and working visas to work either side of the river. You know, having the natural light with 4 windows in my working office and 2 windows in my podcast room make such a difference, especially after decades of working in a corporate setting where windows were coveted for senior leadership members only or guest conference rooms. And lastly, I have a couch for napping or thinking. Now, can I remind you that rest is not lazy. It's productive leadership. You need time and space to chill. My couch is actually 2 Barcelona leather chairs placed in such a way that I can recline on them, and I have. I've worked from there with my laptop, and I've napped. I also have a high-rise chair on the other side of the space, and it acts like a perch where I can work from there, overseeing the happenings and what's going on down the street. Watch the boats or the tankers go by in the river, and it's a favorite spot for Ellie to eat her snacks at because she loves all the street activity. Has this got you thinking about your space? What's one thing in your office that instantly lifts your mood? Is there one specific space inside your office or workplace where you feel the most focused or even the most distracted? Do you have visual cues that signal your availability or protect your boundaries from those "got a minutes"? What small upgrade would make the biggest impact on how you work? And how about making that happen now rather than waiting for someday? This list of my essentials is what makes my office work for me, not against me. Now, it's not about Pinterest perfect. It's about a space that reflects how I lead, how I rest, and how I serve. I hope you're feeling inspired to do a little office audit of your own, because when your environment supports your energy, your team and your clients will feel it too. Thanks for tuning in to the Stacking Your Team podcast, Smart Leadership for Women Who Mean Business. If today's episode helped you see your leadership in a new way, I'd love to hear about it. Come connect with me on Instagram, where I'm at Stacking Your Team, and tell me what's troubling you about your team right now. And one last reminder that you can apply to join the Leadership Lab from the Stacking Your Team website. We're welcoming new members right now. So if you own a firm, agency, studio, clinic, spa, shop, private practice, academy, or collective, either brick and mortar or online service-based business, consider joining the Leadership Lab. Every member owns an established business, and this is not a course. It's time to get out of the daily operations, breathe deeper, and build a team you trust and who are capable of delivering what your clients expect. I can't wait to meet you.